Now, as we know, the Hockey Helix program is a revolutionary off-ice training program that transforms hockey players into dynamic playmakers. Now, a lot of times people ask me, what is a dynamic playmaker? Well, a dynamic playmaker is someone who, when they're carrying the puck, stick handling, can either make a hockey move or a pass or a shot while eluding pressure from an opponent. So when people ask, what is a dynamic playmaker? They're also asking what type of skill set makes up the dynamic playmaker. And so these are the skill sets that the Hockey Helix program develops, which encompasses, or what I think really defines what is a dynamic playmaker. Now, what I want to talk about is the Hockey Helix skill development path. Because when we develop these skills, it's not just all at once. There's kind of a path that we have to go along to make sure that the skills are developed properly and also effectively. So if we look at the first one, we're always going to start with the skating stride. And when we talk about the skating stride, we're going to talk about forward skating stride, crossovers, and backward skating stride. And then what we do from there is we are going to build on that. So each skill set we build on the previous one. So what we're going to do is we're going to work on, from those skating strides, is we're going to work on the ability to accelerate and decelerate. Because hockey is a sport of all about speeding up and slowing down. Not as much about stopping and starting, but really changing speeds and directions. So we want to make sure that our players can do that, because if they do it really effectively, they're going to be much more efficient in how they move, which would be less chance of injury, but also much more deceptive when they're being defended by an opponent. The next thing we work on is we're going to include stick handling. So now if we work on the skating stride, be able to speed up and slow down really well at different speeds, now we add in the stick handling. So you can see how we can start building on the skill set, which makes them more dynamic and more valuable as a player. And we'll work on that stick handling at different speeds, different patterns, and so on. Then we're going to add in head and eye movement. Because a dynamic playmaker, when they're stick handling, their head's always up. They're always looking. They're looking to see where the pressure is coming from their opponent, but they're also looking to see where they want to move the puck to further enhance an offensive play for their team. So what we want to do is we want to incorporate the skating stride with different skating stride, speeding up, slowing down, accelerating, decelerating, stick handling, and the head movement, but also the eye movement, because we want to work on the peripheral vision, because maybe as they're looking towards one direction to see where they can make a pass, their peripheral vision can also pick up someone that's pressuring them from the side that it can be out of their field of vision. Then what we're going to do is we add in a VR system, and we use a program called Sensorina. Now this program was developed by a company to help what they call train your brain. So what they do is they really help train a hockey player to make good hockey decisions in simulated hockey situations, which is great, because what I'm going to have the players do is, while they're working on that, then they're going to work on the different skill sets that we just talked about at the same time. So we're trying to make the body really multitask, which will make them much more dynamic of a player and be able to make great playmaking abilities. Then we're going to add in shooting and passing. And not just shooting and passing in a stationary position, but we're going to do the shooting and passing while different skating strides, while accelerating, decelerating at different speeds, while they're stick handling at different angles, different patterns, different speeds, while their head and eye movement is looking around to see where the next play is going to be. So you can see how the skill development path, what it is it typically builds on each other, but it also encompasses all of them together, so we can make that player as dynamic as possible and make them the dynamic playmaker.